Lucy.
Is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
This is just ghastly. What made him do this? How long has he been?
From the state of the body, perhaps a couple of weeks. It depends on temperature and humidity, of course.
What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when...
Stop.
Your mother
Don't.
drowned herself? Sorry. Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran
No.
and...
This happened later.
There's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact.
Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick, and he's too old to be Simon. There's nothing more to do here. I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
Does it look like he's resting in peace? You're just going to leave him hanging? You're an insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. It's tragic, but really none of my concern.
Oh, Betty, Betty, Betty. Always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. What if that was me up there? Would you care then? All you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for your Betty. What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far. I'll have to dig a grave.
What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far. I'll have to dig a grave.
All right. So I'm finding that there's a lot of different scenarios that you can choose. Like if you're off just a little bit, she'll think you're like going away and you're not supposed to go away, and then I think you lose some options because that happened earlier and I didn't get to search the body, kind of like what I just did. And then when you're not looking at her, she gets more upset and there's more dialogue. She'd be like, you're not looking at me, look at me. And yeah, it's interesting. So I got stuck over here before. Oh, I will try not to get stuck this time. I would think if anywhere there was a shovel, the graveyard by the church would have it, or the church itself would. So can I not get through right here? Does not look like it. Can I go around this side?
Alice!
This way!
Oh, I'm not supposed to go up to the church? Really? I'm supposed to dig a grave, but I don't... I got stuck over here before. Alright. Maybe I need to start walking down and then she'll prompt me to go up to the church. Jeez, that's just about to be like, who's that standing next to you? What's this? Oh, can I loosen it if I stand on the chair? You're a little far away.
I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse.
Has he? Hmm. Oh.
Where are the Fretlands, Edward?
It's been 2 days. If they're not back tonight,
They're not coming back.
perhaps they left after their daughter died.
Was murdered, you mean? Isn't that what we think happened?
We don't have any reason. When tragedy befalls them, Edward thinks people tend to look for a
Penny for your thoughts?
scapegoat. The simplest solution he believes is often the correct one. The villagers believe Simon killed Ruth, and so he most likely did. I don't.
Perhaps she fell by accident.
So you don't think it was murder?
It's difficult to say with any certainty. The boy could have pushed her.
You're really not helping.
What was that noise?
Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm sorry.
You're exhausted.
I buried a corpse today, Alice.
I know. I'm sorry. Why don't you sleep in the guest bedroom?
The couch is fine. The Fretlands could still come home.
All right. Just don't come crying to me if you wake up with a crick in your neck. I'll be up for a while, if you feel like talking.
Hmm. Nice kitchen. I can see it better.
What did you find?
Someone tried to burn this. It's addressed to Mrs. Fretland. My dearest Anna. It's from her sister, Margaret. Frederick's wife. The two brothers married sisters, remember?
Yes, and it's adorable. Keep reading.
I really shouldn't.
Really? How else are we going to figure out what happened? Keep reading.
My dearest Anna, I miss you so very, very much. The baby is due soon, and I wish for our family to reunite before... It's been 7 years since the dreadful incident at the mine. Can we not convince Frederick and Johann to forgive and forget? I know there are things Frederick has not told me about what they found and why they parted ways. Their grudge is tearing us all apart. Frederick won't even let me speak to half of our neighbors, accusing them of treason. He's so very angry and full of regrets. It's eating him up. And we...
And we what?
The rest is unreadable.
Margaret reached out to her sister, but I guess it didn't work.
This was written before Simon was born, but burned recently.
Okay, so whatever happened or was found, apparently, in the mine caused the two brothers to break apart. And it was years before Simon and probably Ruth were born. What's in the mine? What did they find? Did they dig too deep? Dig too greedily? Okay, so I think if I go in there, that's where I'm gonna go sleep. Let's look upstairs again. Now that I can actually see. Can I look at this yet? I want to start over. Not sure if I lost something when I turned that page too quickly. I wrote Mr. Hardin to invite him to stay at the house if he decided to come. I am terribly excited. I do worry for his sister. I wonder where she could be. August 9th, 1923. There was an argument in the shop earlier today. Frederick was yelling at poor Astrid, claiming their goats had been grazing on his land. I wanted to speak up, but I knew I'd only make him angrier. August 10th, 1923, Johann went across the ford this morning to purchase some necessities, including new fabrics and to pick up the post. The letters have been piling up in the store. I sometimes worry the world has completely forgotten us. August 17th, 1923, I finished another dress today. This one is for myself. There are no customers anymore. No one here needs another dress, and it's been ages since we visited the city. I hardly know anyone there, and who would want their dresses made in Gavak when they can have one tailored in Ostland? Sorry if I butcher those. I feel lonely today. I miss my dear Margaret so much after all of these years. That's her sister, who married the other brother, Frederick. August 20th, 1923. I think Ruth is hiding something from me. She's been awfully secretive. She goes off on her own even more than usual, and her clothes are filthy. So this is her daughter. Has she been going in the mine? I don't mind her playing and exploring, of course. I always did regret Margaret and I not being allowed to run free when we were little. Ruth says she's just looking for flowers and pretty rocks. I shouldn't worry so much. August 21st, 1923. Simon stopped by today with a gift for Ruth. A whole bar of chocolate. He is the sweet boy, but Frederick would be furious if he knew. Her husband. August 22nd, 1923. I asked Ruth if she plays up by Frederick's farm or near the old mine. She promised she doesn't. I've never had a reason not to trust her, but I still feel like she's hiding something. Oh, Frederick is her brother-in-law. So, Ruth's uncle. I think she's been playing in the mine. Oops. I looked at her drawings while she was out. She's got such an imagination. September 5th, 1923. We received a letter from Mr. Hardin. He'll be here in October, as planned. I look forward to having someone else to speak with, if only for a few days. Not that Johann isn't good company, but we have little to converse about outside of our daily routines. There's been no sign of Mr. Hardin's sister yet. If she left Estland weeks ago, where could she be? She may well have decided to stop along the way. We've heard nothing, but we so rarely speak with anyone outside Grevik these days. I do hope she's all right. I would hate Mr. Hardin to come all this way to no avail. Ruth is still being secretive. I know she's hiding something. One of these days I will follow her. September 9th, 1923. No church service again today. The vicar hasn't been back since the memorial service in July. Johann believes he won't be back. and that he has given up on Gravik, like everyone else. I think I'm coming down with a cold. Oh. September 15th, 1923. Someone damaged our boat during the night. That's the third one this month. Johann suspects Frederick. Of course, I fear something is bubbling to the surface again after all of these years. I'm not at all feeling well and spent most of yesterday and today in bed. Ruth was sweet and brought me potato soup and tea with honey and milk. September 18th, 1923. She has left us. Our dearest Ruth is gone. I cannot believe it was Simon's doing. He too is now gone. And with him all hope of Gravik had left in it. So Simon is dead. Although I don't think we know how yet. I think that's the only thing we've heard about Simon being dead. I think. I wonder if I read that too soon, because that's a lot of information we just got. And Leslie isn't commenting on it. The Draugen Waltz. Oops. We listened to that earlier. So the mother had a cold. I wonder if that's any pertinent information, you know? Maybe little Ruth died and her mother was already ill and just, you know, she got so depressed and so sad about it that her immune system just failed her and she died. And Johann and Frederick, we haven't hardly heard anything about them.
Lissy?
Right here.
I pushed the wrong button. I was like, why are you calling out to her? Alright, well, I've checked a whole upstairs again. Only thing new was that note. And that may have been, I don't know, reading it earlier than I needed to. What's this? Is this new? This wasn't here before, was it?
I almost forgot putting this aside when I lit the fire.
Oh.
A Christmas present to Ruth. From Simon.
Simon gave that book to Ruth. But who burned it?
Johann or Anna, if they believed Simon killed her.
But they were friendly, right? Simon and Ruth. Before...
I imagine so. And we know the sisters were close.
I still don't understand why the brothers had a falling out.
Whatever drove a wedge between them, it was big.
Well, we know now that Ruth's mother, Anna, didn't think Simon was involved in her death. I mean, Johann still could have. That's a nice clock.
These headlines make more sense now. Johann sells his share, and the cave-in occurs shortly thereafter, killing 3 people.
Including the younger brother.
The investor pulls out, leaving Frederick with the bills.
Oh, I feel awful for everyone. Losing a brother, losing the business.
There were no happy endings here.
All right. So Frederick and Johan's younger brother died. That's okay. That's what I was confused about. Was that it? Can I turn a page? Ew. Okay.
Johann and Frederick Fretland. Thick as thieves, before things took a turn.
Don't you always say that much of our pain is self-chosen?
I wonder about that.
It's the same photograph we saw in the store.
Except this one's whole.
So the brother who owns the store,
Frederick,
was angry with Johann before Ruth. Because
of the mine. It all comes back to the mine.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to think we're gonna have to go and look in the mine tomorrow.
the mine must have been a big deal for Greywoke.
Grovik. An opportunity to do more than live hand to mouth.
What a blow it must have been to lose it all.
Hmm. All right. I think some of the pieces are coming together. So that's to go lie down. Ah, place the hat. Oh, we're just gonna find her piece by piece, huh? We'll
What are
find
you
her
doing?
body.
Betty will want these back.
I don't think it's healthy.
Not
to-
now, please. I'm exhausted.
You do look exhausted. Go to bed, Edward. I'll tuck you in.
What a creepy mirror. All right. No more Doctor Who angels.
Quite the day, huh?
I'm ready to pass out. Where will you sleep?
I'll be up for a while. My mind's simply racing.
Don't stay up late. Wake me if you hear the Fretlands arriving.
Of course. And I'll keep my eyes open for any ghosts that might want to haunt you in your sleep.
There are no...
Hush now. Sleep.